going to get my bike, which is in the lockup. This taciturn security guard is going to let me in. Past my breakfast place. A simple little hole in the wall.
Good morning.
Morning. Filipinos are very, very friendly. Morning. And we're off, finally. Not quite the crack of dawn as I wanted, but so it goes. Basically I had to wait to get breakfast in the hostel because they give a free breakfast, which is a good thing, and I didn't want to miss that, so I had to wait a little bit until he decided he would make me some breakfast. But now we're breakfasted and coffeed and we're ready to face Metro Manila. And now something that I need to remember but haven't done so well with so far is that we're back on the right side of the road. Roads are quiet. It's 7 a.m. but it's Saturday and people do sort of work Monday to Friday largely, so should be fairly quiet out. Iglesia in Cristo, Church of Christ, Catholic country of course, very different from my last tour. So we've got to get out of town, which is easier said than done because it's a big old city. Now, the thing about Manila, it's very poor. It's quite Latino for me. It seems very much like being Latin America. It's not quite as dangerous, but there are elements of that, and you can find yourself at one moment on a fairly normal, big, busy road, and then in the next moment in a very sketchy neighborhood. And I'm just following my bike computer, and I don't think my bike computer can make those decisions. It just sends me the easiest way, but it may not be the safest. There we go, jeepney. Sort of motorcycle rickshaws, another jeepney. We are going straight on through this little market. Oh no, we're going left actually. Slightly chaotic to say the least. Always is when you're riding through markets. People ambling about, going in the wrong direction, bicycles, scooters, motorbike, taxis, jeepneys, woman with a trolley, someone cycling in white Wellington boots and a full set of knives. Watch out for him, hopefully it's a chef. Morning boss. Yeah, didn't look too dangerous. Now I've got a little story to tell you and I'll wait till we're through the chaos, which could be some time. Okay, somehow I've got to do a left here. Woo. Woo, woo. Don't know what everyone else is doing. I'm going left. A bit of a mixture. It was actually a green light, but I guess there's no filter. Okay, here we go. Safe. So against all odds, there are bike lanes here. Hey look, somebody's cycling in one. I'm not actually in the bike lane.
Typical cyclist.
Largely because the this bike lane's full of fucking potholes, as is always the case. However, it's good to know they're there. Here, look, here's a clean stretch. I'll be a good cyclist, ride in the bike lane. It's not that busy out. I can imagine this ride would be rather different midweek at this time. However, at some point we've got to ride back into town later on. Okay, I'm back in the bike lane. Yeah, somebody going the wrong way, of course. A few holes. However, it's not just a painted line, it's got little bollards. So it does feel a bit safer. I didn't quite expect decent bike lanes in Manila, so that's a welcome present. Similar, I would say, to Mexico City, which is also massive and sprawling, but has good bike lanes. A lot better than some cities in the UK, I have to say. Size-wise, I reckon we're looking at 30k just to get out of town. Mexico City was 50k just to get out of town, and then 50k back in. The right turn, got off the highway into this nice palm tree lined avenue, and then we'll have to see what happens next. If it sounds like I don't know where I'm going, I don't. I have no idea. My computer tells me where to go, and I look down at it occasionally and go, oh, got to turn right, or oh, should have turned right some time ago, but it does bleep at me. But as you can hear, it can be a little bit noisy in Manila. Okay, now it's a bit quieter. We can get back to the story, or we can start the story. So the story goes like this. A number of years ago there was a little clip going around, well, on the cycling socials, of somebody cycling through an urban landscape, obviously being followed by another cyclist who was filming, and a motorbike pulls up beside them and steals the phone out of his pocket. And where was this video purported to be taken? You guessed it. Manila. At the time, as with all these things, a lot of people claimed it was a spoof and it was a setup, and I kind of thought that as well. However, I'm not so sure it was. I think we're going through the financial district, certainly a bit nicer around here. Where I'm staying, Malate. When I told the local that, they said, oh, that's the red light district. I don't think where I am is red light district, but I certainly stumbled into a street that was sketchy, shall we say. Wouldn't go there at night. This was in the middle of the daytime and I was feeling nervous. Back to the story. It continues. Now, when I arrive in a new city, in a new area, I'll either try and, or maybe either or, contact local cyclists, find ideas for routes, maybe ride with people, or I look on Strava, the cycling website, and just see where people have been riding, get an idea, and see if any of my friends have ridden there. And lo and behold, one had. So yeah, a friend of mine, Peter, who's used to live in Chiang Mai, now living down south in the Philippines, in Davao City, which sadly, Peter, I don't think I'll be making it to on this trip. It's a fair old way south. Anyway, I found that he'd done the ride I'm about to do, which I've copied from him. And in the notes for the ride, he said, great ride, although at one point, someone rode up on a motorbike and tried to steal my phone. So, urban myth it isn't. And that was good warning, because I've got a camera, I've got my phone, I've even got my debit card with me, but I've got it all stashed, and I'm keeping the camera hidden when I can, although I am filming as I ride. But I've got my Latin American defenses up, so I've got my spidey senses out, not just for people who might hit me, but keeping an eye out for ne'er-do-wells on scooters. Onto a smaller road now. Still got a bike lane, however, there are manhole covers, drainage covers, literally every 5 meters, and it's got cars parked in it. So, nice drive, but still, overall, fairly easy experience getting out of town. Still a ways to go though. Up and over the river. Okay, found another cyclist to draft. A quick step rider by the looks of it. Stay on his wheel, I think he knows where he's going. That's pretty strong. We're doing 43 kph on flat. Don't think I want to take a turn at this speed. A turn on the front, that is. 30k in, still very much in town, where we are apparently on the main climb now. 13k at about 5%. No question of racing it, we're just still trying to get through traffic. Hopefully we'll get onto some quieter mountain roads at some point. That would be nice. Just clouding over a little bit, which is very welcome. It was when I left at 7 a.m. It was already 30 degrees, and it's been getting steadily hotter since then. I mean, it's a big city, so that's gonna make a difference, but as we get up a bit, a few hundred meters up, should start to cool down. Met this guy on a fixie. He's overtaking me on the climbs. Let's have a word with him. Hey.
Morning.
Good morning, new friend from Manila. Riding strong. $35k in now. Getting greener. Still pretty urban. I've seen a lot of roadies, a lot of road cyclists out, although they're all, like these guys, heading back in. So as I suspected, if I'd left an hour earlier, I would have found some people to ride with, which would have been nice, just to meet people, other cyclists, and safety in numbers. Okay, here's my fixie boy again, going hard on the climbs. Stay with him. At the top of the first climb, I met a group of cyclists, sort of older chaps, shall I say, like me. Very friendly. They bought me some water and offered me brandy, which I wisely turned down. But they were nice to chat to, very friendly. And, you know, this is one of the things about the Philippines, they all spoke good English, so it's nice you can actually stop and have a chat with people, which can be trickier in other Asian countries. A lot of people say, you know, the food, well, we'll return to the food at some point, but we're going to press on a bit. We are, well, 270 meters up. It's already a little bit cooler, although it is, according to my computer, 35 degrees, so it's all relative. Pretty sweaty, still pretty urban. I'm hoping it's going to get quieter, and I've been told there's a nice bit of 20% climbing ahead. Nice newly paved road, a little bit of downhill. No road markings, but hey, I'm not sure they make any difference. Definitely getting a bit quieter now. Looks like we're getting into the sort of suburb hills of Manila. Manila is, you know, it's a word I've heard, I've known about this city most of my life, I think. So it's always nice to come and check out these cities. I mean, I have to say, I don't think I've fallen in love with Manila so far. It's not one of the great Asian cities, but it's still interesting. And ooh, there's a sight. Hope the camera can pick that up. Right out to sea. That's beautiful. Yeah, it's not a lovely city. It's like a sort of rough Latin American city, but it's got a certain joie de vivre, an esprit de corps, as our French friends would say. And that's what I always loved about Latin America. There's just a sort of vitality of life. There's a short, steep climb approaching. We'll get up that and then we'll be close to 50k from home. So if we turn around here, we'll have done a good 100k, which is great for a starter. Didn't really get me too far out of town, but that's how it goes. Definitely very interesting. The reason I got to get back is A, it's very hot, but B, I don't mind the heat too much. B is I need to get to a bike shop. I've got a problem with the bearings in my rear hub, free hub, and they need changing. I went to a bike shop yesterday. They were very good, but they were busy. They had 4 bikes to set up, so they said come 11 or 12 o'clock tomorrow and we'll sort you out. And it needs to be today, because tomorrow, Army checkpoint, tomorrow I'm leaving town. Certainly a few coconuts. Hi.
Hello. Yeah.
Little puppy. Little puppy. on how young the coconut is. This one hasn't got it, but there can be a nice sort of what they call the meat inside, or la masa. But this one doesn't have, so normally I'd get them to cut it in half and then scoop out the flesh, but there ain't no flesh. 30p. Coco. Yeah, very cheap, very nice. Must have had a good, I'd say that had a good litre of fluid in it. Seems like a good point to turn around. It's a bit of a shame having done all that work to get out of town, but I can feel the bearings now. Now that I know, I realise they've probably been crunching away for some time. And as I say, I'm leaving tomorrow, so today is the chance to get it done. I don't want to mess that up. And so we'll head back down, then there's a bit of a climb back up to the top of the first climb that we did, and then it's all the way down into town through the metropolitan Manila back to Malate where I'm staying, and then we'll try and find Dan's bike shop again. They were very friendly in there, but busy. Let's hope he can do it today. Plan for the Philippines. As ever, I have very little plans. It's only really since I turned up I've kind of been thinking about how to play it. I mean, very often I just need to turn up, so I can't really plan in advance. It's once you turn up, you get a sense of the conditions more, and it makes it, you know, a little bit more obvious what you want to do. Now, the main condition here is very fucking hot. And so, tomorrow, I'm going to go to Baguio, which is a city in the north, about 300 kilometers north of Manila. It's another city, however, its defining feature is that it's at 800 meters altitude. Yeah, so Baguio is up in the mountains, the highest mountains in the Philippines, north of Luzon Island, this main island that Manila's on. It would be nice to get to other places, visit other parts of the Philippines, but I may just find, if I like Baguio and it's cooler, I might just stay there for a few weeks, do this tour that someone sent me, 500 kilometer multi-day tour, ride up to the highest point another time. I think there's probably plenty to do up there, and we're not going to ride there, we're going to take the bus up. I've been told it's very easy, just ride to the bus station, put the bike in the bus, they don't even charge you, and 3-hour, 4-hour trip to Baguio, avoiding an unpleasant and very uninteresting, apparently, 300 kilometer ride. Last little drag up to the summit, and then it'll be downhill all the way back into Manila. I did ask the guys, we were chatting about phone theft, and they said there was a spate of it, but that in the last few months it had stopped. That's good news. Anyway, I've got my phone and my valuables in the handlebar bag, which is a lot harder to steal from when you're on a motorbike. Back in town at the ubiquitous 7-Eleven, quick cold drink. Didn't want to leave my bike sitting outside unattended for very long, so nip in, grab a bowl, first thing I can see, and get out. Still a little bit to do. Still another 22 kilometers through town. It has clouded over. It may even come to that. Back on the main highway, and I just checked, and this road goes almost straight to the bike shop, I think. So we'll go there, check out, see what they got to say. Hopefully they can sort me out. maybe go and get a bite to eat while I'm waiting. I haven't been to a McDonald's in years, but when McDonald's starts looking tempting, you know you're not in Vietnam. And bike shop somewhere in here. There it is, DBS. Whew, and they'll have the air conditioning on. That's what I call a spanner. Look at that. Wow, that's what was needed. Pub's done, a little bit of wheel truing, and then we should be out of here. This guy is an absolute star, and he hasn't had his lunch yet. Man, that mechanic saved the day. Seems I had the wrong bearing in my rear hub, which is why it was all loose, and one of the other bearings was crunchy, so he changed it. Clean everything out, got it all set up, re-trued the wheel, new bearing, and all that work. It was over an hour and a quarter, just under £10. I was thinking I was going to be paying a little bit more than that. Okay, it's hot as hell out here. Last little bit home, try and find something to eat. Last Tracy Junction, past another big church, and should be home in 5-10 minutes. Okay, back at the hostel, didn't find food. The place I wanted to go had already sold out of everything, so I'm going to have to go and look a little bit further afield. Anyway, that was the thriller from Manila. Hope you enjoyed it. It'll be the final one here in Manila, and then I'm off north to Baguio tomorrow. If you enjoyed it, give us a thumbs up. See you soon on today's ride.